Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this live stream today. Today, I am live on Facebook, I am live on YouTube, and I am attempting to go live on Instagram. So, this is a live stream with Rosemary Dede, who is a business coach. She is passionate about helping women to thrive in their lives. So, again, I want to thank everybody who has joined today. We are live on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and having the discussion about the self love retreat that is going to be happening next month. There's only a few days left if you want to sign on to come to this wonderful self love retreat that is going to be a holistic experience where you get to not only spend time with other women and learn from Rosemary, but you also get a chance to learn about yourself, to really tap into your full potential. And when you leave, you'll be energized, you'll be refreshed, and you'll find yourself looking at the world a little bit differently, because self-care is self-love, and it's so important that we do these things, and oftentimes we don't. So I think it's wonderful that Rosemary has been doing this annual retreat in Ghana, and it is an opportunity for you not to only make a trip to Ghana, but also to experience such a healing retreat. If you're already in Ghana, you can also join. With it being so close, I'm sure that most of the people who will be joining now will be people who already live in Ghana. I know a lot of women are always looking for new experiences that they can have. It's more than party central in Ghana, but it's also an opportunity to heal and to refresh yourself. So today I have this amazing woman, and she has taken the time out today so that we can do this live and talk about this self-love retreat. So thank you so much, Rosemary, for joining today to talk about what you're doing. We'll talk about the retreat, but we'll also talk about her business. She has a coaching business. So if you're looking for your own personal coach to help guide you through your life, your personal life, as well as your professional life, she is the go-to person. So we'll talk about that as well as the retreat. But first, I want to have Rosemary introduce herself, who she is, where she lives, what's her background, and thank you so much for taking the time to do this conversation today.
Thank you for having me, Ivy. I'm so glad to be here with you and your viewers today from all the different platforms. I'm super excited. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah,
How
so
did
you
you?
mentioned, yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask you in your introduction. Tell us how you got into coaching.
Sure, yeah. That's a really good question. So, as Ivy said, I am Rosemary and I'm a holistic business coach. And I started coaching in 2020. And how got into that is, I wouldn't say by accident, but I have found myself always coaching people, always being the go to person for advice, tips, and being very, I guess, adventurous and spontaneous with my own dreams. And so my friends and people at work, colleagues, were always coming to me to share what's going on in their lives for advice and also to get that little pep talk. I just have always been that person. But how it really happened to me is, maybe I will go a little bit backwards here. But I was born and raised in Europe. I'm what some may call Afropean, and in 2012, I decided to move to Ghana to learn more about my roots. And I thought I would be going for 6 months, but it turned out to be 3.5 years. I met my husband there, got married. And when we had our first child, decided to come back to Belgium to have the delivery. And we stayed here ever since. We've been traveling back and forth to Ghana. And I remember that when I moved back to Belgium, even though this was my home, quote unquote, I felt very isolated and very lonely, especially as a new wife and mother. I just felt like I couldn't connect with either my old friends, sometimes the distance, but also the lifestyle changes. And after having my firstborn, I used to join a mother group to every week to just share how our babies were doing and how we were doing mentally. Um, and everything. And I remember how amazing it felt. And I just thought, oh, wow, it's nice to have such a community. But although I love this community so much, I realized that we didn't align on a lot of things. These were women who had the luxury of staying at home post having their babies. They didn't have the pressure of going back to work at that time. And in Belgium at that time, you had 3 months leave. And I had to go back to work very soon, and I was not ready. And just felt like I wish I could meet with like minded women in my culture, or women who are going through similar experiences. And so by the time I had my second child during my maternity leave, it seems like I always get very inspired when I'm pregnant and also when I have a baby. I always birth new ideas when I have a child. And that came to me. I think I was like, okay, 5 years from now, what do I want to do with my life? Where do I see myself? And that's why I thought I want to work with women. I want to empower women to live life in their own terms. And I want to have a business that allows me to create an impact in such a way. And I was looking at all the things that I enjoyed in my life. And I enjoy holistic lifestyle, wellness, traveling, and just being around women and working with women. And so I was like, okay, let's just start one thing. And the first thing I started was the community, a Facebook group, and my retreat, which was hosted the first one in 2019. And so that's a little bit about me. And that evolved into the coaching. We used to have monthly calls just with the ladies to catch up, and the calls would take longer and longer, and people would keep coming back and were like, could you give more advice, could you help me with that? And then I was like, you know what, maybe I need to structure this. And so I took a course, got my own coach, and helped me structure my own framework. And yeah, the rest is history, as I say. For whatever reason, I can't hear you anymore. Oh, you're
I
muted,
know
that's why.
why, because my I was
I
on
was so
mute.
scared, I was like, oh god.
No, I was on mute and I forgot to unmute. So what I was saying is, it always is wonderful to hear people's journey and hear where they came from and how they got to where they are. So I love hearing how, for you with having children sort of pushed you to get into this, because I know you were already interested in this type of field with helping women. And I think probably, like,
Mhm.
as you said, the children kind of pushed you into it a little bit quicker than maybe you would have. So I think it's wonderful that you're doing what you're doing, and you've helped so many women.
Yeah, well, I would like to hope so. I think sometimes I look back and I'm like, wow, I look at someone that I follow on Instagram. I was like, oh wow, I actually work with this person, and I know one of my clients. She's an artist, and she sings and she does so many concerts, and summertime is festival season, and I've been seeing her everywhere. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I actually worked with this person. So sometimes I'm like, I forget, what all the things I've achieved. And I kind of struggled with that. I think that's a little weakness of mine, not celebrating my wins enough. So I am learning.
I think that's something that a lot of women have. It's we don't celebrate our wins enough.
Yeah, yeah.
We
I
really,
tell
really
that to my
should.
clients all the time.
So you are Ghanaian who was raised in Belgium, moved back to Ghana, and then moved back to Europe, and you often call yourself Afropean. So I want you
Yeah,
to just share what the meaning of that is.
yeah. I think, growing up in Europe, not like in the US, perhaps, we don't have the term like African American, or if you're Black, people would assume you're African American or you're just African or something. But in Europe, if you're Black, you're just African. Maybe in the UK, you might be Caribbean, or in France, but most countries, they just see you as a Black person, and which is totally fine. And I always saw myself as Ghanaian, not necessarily as a Belgian. And I guess I only identified with being a Belgian whenever I was outside of Belgium. And having this dual identity, I wouldn't say that I struggled much with it, because I was very much in touch with my Ghanaian culture and I was very much proud of it. But when I moved to Ghana, it's when I realized that, hey, wait a second, I'm not a completely Ghanaian either. Like, I'm not your typical Ghanaian woman, and that is totally okay. And moving to Ghana at the age late 20s. Yeah, was it? Yeah, mid 20s, late 20s is when I realized it's okay to redefine yourself and to embrace all the different parts of your personality. And I think that's when I started to use the phrase, because it's not something I invented, Afropean, because I fully embrace my dual background, I would say. The fact that I am European and there are things that I love about that. And I am also African. Yeah.
I'm glad that you explained that, because I think many of us living in different places, we have different identities that we have to embrace. Like with me being Ghanaian also and raised in Canada, it definitely has an impact on my identity and who I am and what I relate to. So, and I think embracing multiple identities is not a bad thing, because sometimes it's like
Hmm.
people make you, it's like they want you to choose one all the time, but you can embrace all of who you are. So
Yeah,
that's really good. So let's talk
exactly.
about the retreat. So Rosemary has this retreat that is coming up next month, and it is an annual retreat where she comes to Ghana and she has this holistic healing experience for women. And there's just a few days left for you to register if you are interested in being a part of this event. Um, I'm going to put it on the screen. I'll share with people who want to see exactly, what this offers, and then you can talk a little bit about what the expectations are when people are coming to this event. It's going to be at the Royal Senchi Hotel, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
in Akosombo. And I think that that is such a beautiful space for anybody who hasn't been there before. The
It's
Akosombo
gorgeous.
area and the grounds of the Royal Senchi is just absolutely beautiful. So here is the website, which is on rosemarydede.com/retreat, taking place September 21st to 28th. Just scrolling through here, and you can see some images from previous years, talking about indulging in wellness, reconnecting with yourself, and thriving on your own terms. So can you tell me, oh, here's the grounds. Look at how beautiful that is. If anybody hasn't been there before, you have to go. Look at the
Yeah.
beauty of Ghana. The beauty. My goodness.
It's
So
gorgeous. I can
yeah, it
never get
really,
enough.
yeah, it really, really is. Um, so tell us how you got this started and how people can be a part of it.
Yeah. So my first retreat took place in 2019, and I have a background in tourism and hospitality. So travel and organizing trips and things like that has always been something that I'm very comfortable with, and hosting people. But I just wanted to create an opportunity for women to come together, like-minded women. And at the time when I created this, I was already a mother of two, and I knew how difficult it was to just have some time away from the kids for myself. To As a mom, it was difficult for me to even dream of that. Like, I would feel guilty wanting some time away from the kids, but I could also not see how that would even be possible. And I realized how important it was when women do go away from their work, from their family, from the kids, and from their daily requests, that we can be transformational. And I think when I hosted it, I didn't know what I know now, because after hosting it the first time, just the first few days when the women get together, when they just arrive in Ghana, first of all, it's almost a spiritual um, experience, whether you are Ghanaian or African or not. There is something about the air in Ghana when you just get out of the plane, the welcome, this warm embrace that I call it. It's just magical. So just from the moment your foot touched the ground, it feels really good. And then I've made sure that the retreat is really hands-on. So I am the one picking up my guests personally from the airport, each one of them, whether they're coming with their different flights or not. I'm the one picking them up. And arrival is on a Saturday for everyone. And I pick up the guests and we stay the first night in Accra. Why? Because most guests don't come from the same destination. Some come from Europe, from North America, some are based in Ghana. And so I like to have everybody kind of arrive on Saturday at their own pace. And Sunday morning is when we leave to the magnificent Royal Senchi. And believe me, if you haven't been there, It's like, you've watched these movies like royalty, African royalty, and you get there, you're like, okay, I get it. You get it. You get to experience that feeling of luxury, but also African excellence. And we're staying at the Royal Senchi for about 4 nights. And these 4 nights are curated in such a way that my retreats are a blend of self care and wellness experience. So we start our days with yoga. This year, I will be teaching myself for the first year as well. I got a yoga teacher training a couple of years ago, and I'm finally putting that to use. So
Fantastic.
I'm excited to be the one teaching you and guiding you through all the sessions this year as well. So we start our day with yoga, and it's definitely not like you need to be an experienced yogi or something. I have been personally doing yoga since I was 19. I'm now 38, but you don't have to be, someone who practices yoga or anything. And we start our day with a gentle stretch, just so like you reconnect with your body at the beautiful grounds of Senchi. After breakfast, we have personal development workshops, and these are from vision casting, from self-reflection workshops, different things that we do to help you have the time to think about your life, because this is not just about a getaway by the beach with a cocktail at hand in your hands, but it's about the time that you never get, that week that you never get when you're home, to just like be in your own space and to really think further than just that task that is due tomorrow, or the laundry that you need to fold, or the kids that need to go to the dentist or whatnot. It's like you wake up for you and you get to have a whole week to actually think about what you want your life to be, whether you want to move to a different country, whether you want to, have a new, relationship, career, whatever. So I'm really creating these self-reflection workshops to allow you to have the space to think through these things, maybe make certain decisions in your life. We also have a combination of either afternoons where we have excursions to discover the beautiful area of Akosombo, but also moments where you have freedom to really just reflect and be by the pool and have a moment at the spa, because Senchi has a beautiful spa and amazing grounds as well. So it's not your typical wellness retreats where you wake up at 6 and you eat vegan food and practice yoga 3 times a day or something. It's also not that luxury retreat where you're just having a spa and manicure thing and you're just chilling by the pool and the bar. No, we're really combining the luxury, the self-care, the personal development, and also the wellness aspect to it. So it's like all these things come together, and it's curated in such an intimate group that the women that you meet, you may not know them, but recently, what was it, last week, I met with two of my guests from 2020, I think, or 2021. We had coffee together. It was really nice to just connect with each other. And one of my past guests, I saw she got married recently. And for me, it is very powerful to watch because I know the things that were discussed during the retreat. I know the struggles that people were going through at that time, and to see them excel now, I know that these are some of the seeds that they planted during the retreats. And so we spend those 4 nights at the Senchi with various activities and go back to Accra on a Thursday. And Thursday is kind of a free evening. We get back, but I am an avid Kizomba dancer. And if you don't know what Kizomba is, you better look it up. It's an Angolan dance. And I've been dancing for many years. And when I lived in Accra, I used to dance as well. And so I love to take my guests to Afrikiko, which is a beautiful place in Accra where you can have open air dancing. And the beauty of that is these women have been amongst women for the first part of the retreat, 4 nights. And this is the first time that they're in a space with, with men as well, and with other people that are not part of the retreat, and they get to be in their femininity. They get to dance and express themselves. So we have a Kizomba workshop there, and we just have a fun night out. Friday is a completely free day, Friday free day. And my guests get to experience the city or just, escape and go to Cape Coast. I've had guests who go to Cape Coast. I have guests who go to Abri. They really have a day to do other things, shopping, do their hair. And in the evening, we have a 3-course meal at the gourmet restaurant, and we taste the nightlife of Accra, because I understand why, how come to Accra and then you don't get to taste the nightlife. So I do take them out to taste that. And Saturday is the goodbye. They wake up at their own pace. We have a late checkout. They can do some shopping at the local crafts market, and I help everybody to finalize things and go back away home where they came from. So that is a little bit about our program and how it's put together. I think you're muted again. I think you're muted. No? Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Wisdom, you've been making comments. I appreciate you. We have Kosue Khan, who's been making comments. We appreciate you. And then we have Mindful Moments podcast. Thank you so much for your feedback. And you said that you wish you had found it sooner. And then says, this sounds like such a transformative experience for those of us who are inspired by this, but can't attend in person. Are there any virtual sessions or way to stay connected with the community?
So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that comment and asking that question. So, unfortunately, well, I would say it was two ways. So, these sessions are done in such a way that it's very private because people are coming to work on themselves, and we may share private things. So, those self development workshops are obviously not recorded. By me, or I don't share those specific things. However, I will be recording behind the scene different moments throughout the retreat, which I will be posting on the stories of the She Tribes page, but also my personal page. So that's the only way that you can kind of see what's going on and connect with us. And obviously I will also be communicating with the people outside, because you from the moment the retreats start, you can actually start signing up on the wait list for the next year. And you can see it happening live. So if you have any questions about specific things, you're able to get all that information. So that's a way that you can connect. We do still have a month left. So if you are really interested and you happen to be in Ghana, do definitely reach out to me or Ivy directly, and we'll be able to help you with that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
You could
For
sign
whatever
up for her coaching business.
Yes, you can as well. So depending on what you're working on during the retreat, the focus is heavily on lifestyle, and we do some kind of business kind of coaching as well. It really all depends on the guest and what they need. But indeed, if you are looking to work on your business and grow overall, I am a holistic business coach, and I don't like to separate the two. I like to bring lifestyle and business together. So if you do need any support there, I'm more than happy to help you. You can just go to my Instagram or my website. It's just my name, rosemarydede.com/clarity. And you could just book a free clarity call with me, and we could just get to know more about your current state and what it is that I could help you with.
Fantastic. Now we have, I don't know if this is really on topic, but Wisdom is saying he'd love to build a house in that breathtaking tropical environment. And wouldn't we all?
Yeah,
It's just so beautiful.
right.
And then I have a question for our Queen Rosemary. Do you perhaps know about Jatafia?
Is that someone that does herbal medicine? Because I think I've seen that name pass by social media. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, it's always good to have people interactive and asking questions, making comments. I appreciate you. Um, I want to show on the screen one of the testimonials from your retreats so that people can get an idea of the experience that people have when they've come. So let me just
Mhm.
share one of your video testimonials so people can see and hear from a real person what they experienced at the seminar last year, at the retreat last year.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kia, and I am at the Self Love Retreat with the She Tribe. We are here at the beautiful Royal Century Resort, And so basically, the reason why I came, a friend of mine suggested that we go on the self love retreat. And when she first told me about it, I was very skeptical. I just asked, what are you talking about? Like, what is this? But honestly, since I've been here and have gained all of the knowledge and the practice and yoga, it has been one of the best experiences in my life. I basically decided to come because I was looking for clarity and just purpose for my life. And I was, in search of that. And so I went ahead and said yes to my friend, let's give it a try. And this trip has just exceeded my expectations. One, being able to come to the beautiful continent of Africa, that's always been one of my dreams. So I was able to do that. The other ladies are so friendly, and I feel like I made a sisterhood. I made a lot of connections with the women here. So it definitely just exceeded my expectations how this resort was going to go. Each day is filled with an excursion, some introspective work, some really deep thinking about ourselves and where we want to see ourselves, and also yoga. I'm not very good at yoga, so it's not for professionals. It's for anyone. And so I'm just so glad that I came, that honestly, that I invested in myself. I kind of took a leap of faith and decided to come. And it's just been so eye opening and awakening for me. So I definitely suggest and recommend these retreats with the She Tribe for anyone. Again, you don't have to be professional, you can be anywhere you are in your life. Um, and I think that you would get a lot out of coming to this retreat, connecting with other women, connecting to our home of where we all come from, and just give it a chance. So hopefully we'll see you soon.
She's actually one of the guests who got married recently. So it's
Oh,
funny that you chose that testimonial. Yeah. Yeah,
wow.
Kia. So lovely. Yeah.
That was really nice. That was really, really nice to hear her experience, and just to validate for anyone else who's interested in attending. And yeah, I think that you're really onto something, and I can see this growing each year to be even more and more of a massive thing. Not to say it's not massive now, but making an impact in a way that we'll see waves of women who their lives have changed, who are affecting other people as well, because they themselves have changed as a result of going to one of your retreats.
Yeah, I'm really, I mean, especially the all the women that have come to the retreat, there has been a ripple effect, sometimes immediately, sometimes months later. And if I ask each one of them, they'll be able to pinpoint exactly a specific thing they did during the retreat that helped them get to this point later. So it's been really, it's transformative, but it has been for me as well as a host and a guest of my own retreat, because I do get to be there with these women and focus on our well-being, and it's been really amazing, and it's something that I really enjoy. I do this every year. The idea is to keep doing this every year. The plan was to perhaps maybe move to different African countries. It is in the works, or different parts of Ghana, but the Senchi, I have really high expectations, and the Senchi always, meets those and sometimes even exceeds. And so it's really hard for me to find a place where I'm like, okay, it ticks all the boxes. And no matter how many times I go back to the Senchi, I'm always in awe. And I know that some of my clients, they've come to the retreat and they're like, I actually don't mind coming again because it's so amazing. And I think the program, every day you work on something else in your life, and just to take that week away for yourself, it's just magical. And so, whatever it is that you're going through in life, know that it's an experience that nobody's ever going to take away from you.
We have a question from the comments. Wisdom again asking, is this retreat only for ladies or gents as well?
I get this question often. Currently, it is only for women. I have gotten many requests to do it for men as well. And to be honest, I am interested to do that perhaps in the future. But in order to do that, I'd like to have a male host, co-host with me. I think both men and women deserve to take a week out. However, I feel like we need to work on different things. And it I think it would be good to have a gender friendly kind of retreat where you have male having been led by a male coach and also changing, sometimes being with me and the women being led by a man. I think the male perspective can definitely help the women about certain things they're going through in their life, and the same way I think I could help with that. But right now, as I'm doing it alone, I do not feel ready yet to host the men myself.
I have a friend who I think would be really good to co-host if you do decide to go in that direction in the future.
Mm,
His name is Kwame Asiedu. He actually has a podcast called All the Feels Conversations, and it's a
mm,
podcast where he has conversations with men um, about expressing their feelings and going against the typical ideal that men are supposed to stay strong and hold their emotions in, and they're not supposed to have feelings. Like they're supposed to be this strong masculinity type of thing. So he
yeah.
uh, he has this podcast, and he actually he's really good at yoga. I think he's taking the yoga certification and everything. So I think maybe in a couple of
Nice.
years he might be the person to co-host with you. Because I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd definitely like to connect with him.
Another comment, we have Wisdom. How many people can attend this retreat?
Yeah, so it's a good question because there is a limited availability, not because the Senchi cannot accommodate more people, but because I choose to limit the retreat to a very intimate group of people. My cap number is 12, including myself and eventually a co host or team members, because I think these sessions are so intimate and you're pouring sometimes your heart out. And I think most people come to the retreat thinking, oh, it's going to be, it's going to be a fun time. And then by day one, they're bawling their eyes out. There's a lot of emotions coming out. And I think one, because they probably haven't had the time to be away from home in such a long time and didn't know they had bottled up so many emotions. And two, because they're in a safe space, they don't really know each other, so sometimes that helps to kind of open up and just blurb it out. And so that is the reason why I prefer to keep the group intimate, is because I like that personal interaction as well, to be able to work with them separately, have private sessions with them. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I were to host a group of 30. That is not my aim, and it will never be. I won't ever grow it to, because it's a different feeling than you're hosting a group trip, but not necessarily a retreat, I believe.
I agree. It could get lost when there's too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wisdom also wants to know if there's any tropical spring or waterfalls or ocean to the retreat.
Yes, there is actually. So the hotel we're staying at in Akosombo is by a lake, the Lake Volta, which is actually the largest man-made lake in the world, I think.
Yeah, I
Um,
swam in that lake.
oh wow, yeah. So it's by the river bank, so that means every room has a view onto the river. So that's
Yeah.
one. And the second water or body that we kind of come across during the retreat, I would say, is we go visit a waterfall, the Wuli waterfalls, as part of our excursion. So yes, there is a waterfall aspect.
Fantastic. Wisdom, you've been very engaging. Thank you so much. Maybe you have a lady in your life that you can encourage to go on this
Yeah.
retreat.
I
A
always
lady
say
in
to
your
the
life, or
men,
your
you have a
sister or
sister, you
mother.
have a mom, you have a maybe a partner that you can invite, gift, birthday to. So think about the women around you.
Yeah. And so, how can people register?
Yeah, so this is an application only retreat. Again, for the same reason why my numbers are limited. I want to know each person that is coming to the retreat personally. That means you can go to the website, and as soon as you go to the website and you click apply here, so you choose the option between a single room or a shared room, and it will take you to the same page, which is the application form. On that application form, you have the opportunity to introduce yourself, so your name, all the basic information, but also whether you've been at the retreat before, what your expectations are. Maybe you have some special requirements. Maybe there's some specific reason why you're coming to a retreat, because that's very important for me to know whether that need can be met through a retreat and particularly through mine. And also special requirement, maybe you have a special diet or allergies, or maybe you're not able, so you're like, oh, actually, can the yoga work for me? I need some special assistance or whatnot. So all of those things, you can fill that in as you apply, and then that takes you to a checkout page. On the checkout page, you can then choose the option that you want, so the single or the shared room. And now we're only a month out, so the payment plan wouldn't work anymore. But if you had booked this a couple of months ago, and maybe for next year, you have the option between paying in full or paying through the payment plan. So that means you just sign up with the deposit of 20% and pay the rest in a monthly installment. And so that is it. Then you get an email from me as well, welcoming you. And as we're gearing closer to the retreat, you'll be added to a WhatsApp group. We'll have a group call. So you get to meet all the guests before you arrive. And so that it's not like we're meeting strangers as soon as you arrive in Ghana, but before you arrive, you actually already know how everybody looks like. And you get to prepare and ask your questions and all that. So for me, that is very important. That is why it's an application only. It's not about the money, because I do have people like, I can totally pay for this today, but it's not about that. It's about, are you aligned to the type of person that would benefit from a retreat, and are you the type of person that I think I can help.
Fred said, "This is amazing, Miss Rosemary. Kudos to you. Thanks for sharing her, Ivy. You are welcome." And
Thank you.
then Wisdom again says, "I'm single, but yes, I do have a lot of ladies around between the family who are looking for self-improvement retreat to join. So hopefully
Amazing.
they'll join with your advice, or maybe you gift it to them."
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, so
yeah,
this is really like I'm looking at the rooms, like the rooms are beautiful.
they're
Um,
they're massive too.
yeah, and just the whole environment. When you look at the whole environment, it's absolutely breathtaking, and this is Ghana, people, like people who are watching from around the world. If you're not in Ghana, if you've never been, when you see these images, know that this is West Africa. There's this misconception that you can't have this beauty here, but look at it. Every time I go to Royal Senchi, I'm just like, this place is so peaceful and so calm, and you know that just the environment. There's mountains around the area, and Okosombo is a beautiful place to go if you come to Ghana. You don't have to stay in Accra. You can go out, venture out, and see what the country has to offer.
Yeah.
So it's great that you picked a place outside of Accra to do the retreat, because you could have easily said, I'm doing it at Kempinski or something,
Oh yeah, that
because
is totally not my style. I've seen retreats being done that, but I'm like, how can you even call this a retreat? In a place like that, for me, it is not. It needs to have some sense of serenity and peace and just space. And that's why I said I'm very um I wouldn't say difficult. I just have some expectation when it comes to my retreat location, and the Senchi always ticks that. And when I decided to do retreats, for me it was very important to choose it in Africa. So I do my retreats only in Africa, because I wanted to show people that retreats don't necessarily only happen in Bali, or in Thailand or Ibiza, or Costa Rica. They happen in Africa as well, and in Africa they don't just happen in South Africa. So that's why for
yes,
me it was very important to put Ghana on the map for this.
yes. So you're also helping to change the narrative of Africa with
Yeah,
this
very
at the
important for
same
me.
time. Yeah. So you see the website on the screen, rosemarydede.com/retreat to register. You only have a few days left. If you are a gentleman and you can't go, you can share this with one of your female friends, spouse, girlfriend, auntie, grandma, somebody that you can share it with who may be interested in attending this retreat next month. And if you live in Ghana, I know that the way that the packaging is, most of the packaging was set for people who are traveling from outside of Ghana. But if you are here in Ghana, there's also a special package for you when you're already here and you don't necessarily need to be staying there every night. You would just come in maybe for a day or two and have the same kind of experience. There's a different package for people who live here already, because there's not there's not the flight or anything that you have to worry about. So check it out. It is coming soon. I love how engaged you are, Wisdom. You said, "This is the Ghana that I belong to, and as an Ewe and a Ga, I do not want to share this magnificent place." You don't want to share it? Oh, why not?
Please share. Yeah, no, but
Oh,
as Ivy was saying, there is a special package for local guests. So, if you go on a website, you will see under the package, you have the option to click if you are a local resident or happen to be in Ghana around that time. But if not, you just go to the website slash local retreats, and then it will take you there as well. So the package excludes the stay in Accra. I mentioned that we arrive in Accra. That means we're staying at the hotel there, and when we come back on a Thursday night and Friday night, we're also staying in Accra and checking out on Saturday. If you live in Accra, obviously you don't need that. So this year you have the opportunity to create, to actually have that package already done. And you can pay for just the 4 nights at Senchi, which includes local transportation to Senchi and all the other aspects of it. So if you're interested, definitely join. I also wanted to share that I have a special discount for Ivy's guests. So if you're watching this and you go to the checkout page, just put the code special 10 in and you get a special discount, 10% discount for this retreat. So if you're interested to join or you want to share this with a friend, family members, let them know that they have a few days to decide, and if they do, they can still benefit from a 10% discount.
just put that code in, special 10. Special 10 if you're already here in Ghana and you're watching my live stream, and you can get yourself a discount to go to this retreat. Don't miss out. This is a really good opportunity to go and relax and learn about yourself, heal, and just recharge and thrive. And have fun at the same time, because there's going to be opportunities to connect with the other ladies who are part of the retreat too. So take advantage of that. My special code, special 10. Thank you so much for that, Rosemary, for sharing that
You're
with my
welcome.
audience. Again, the website is rosemarydede.com/retreat. And then the discount code is special 10 to get your 10% discount. So let me see. Oh, Fred is responding to him saying he didn't want to share. Oh, why, oh, brother, why? Yes, why? You have to share. We got to get people to love our country. So, yeah. Okay, so we've been talking about the retreat. I want to now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about your coaching business. You have been doing this for a few years and helping a lot of women make a change in their lives. And I want you to talk about what you offer and how you can help people and how they can sign up.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that. So, I mentioned in the beginning that I'm a holistic business coach, and I like to say holistic business coach because there are a lot of business coaches out there, but most of the time their focus is solely on your business. So that means either your revenue growth, your systems optimization, your marketing, and all that. But as a holistic coach, I also work on your mindset, on your lifestyle, and how you can bring the two together. I don't see it as two separate things. And so for me, I remember early on when, no, actually recently, my daughter is 3 now, the youngest. When I had her, from the moment she was born, she was joining me on business calls with my clients. And for me, that was a very important thing to do because I wanted them to feel comfortable knowing that being a mother does not mean there's nothing wrong with you, and having a child in the picture or in the view doesn't disturb, obviously, unless the child is screaming and it is crying and you need to put the child down. But just as people have Zoom calls and their dog and their cats are walking around, everybody thinks it's cute. This is a human being. This is part of your life. And so for me, I wanted my clients, who are mostly women, I have worked with men and I do work with men, but I mostly cater to women, make them understand that they can embrace all aspects of themselves: motherhood, being a wife or partner, and being a daughter, all of those things. And how do we bring that together, and how do we build a business that is aligned with that, a business that supports that lifestyle, and not a business that takes you away from that. And so that is kind of my focus. I work a lot on work life harmony and not work life balance. I think a lot of times women, again, feel very guilty either investing a lot of time in their business and or their career versus, they don't have time for their family, or spending too much time at home and therefore don't feel like they are adding any value. And so it's really about creating harmony and also not burning out. And so the way that I coach is I like to look at it as a holistic thing. And I offer a group coaching program called From Nine to Thrive. And I call it From Nine to Thrive because most of my clients have a 9 to 5 that they are in and are wanting to leave. Some are part-time business owners, and they have been doing that for many years and are looking for the moment where they can fully thrive as a business owner, or are a struggling entrepreneur and are looking to thrive as a CEO and take the driver's seat, and not feel like the overwhelmed employee in their own business. Because many feel like that when they come to me, they feel like they're not calling the shots, but the business is actually running them versus they running the business. And so my group coaching program is a 6 months program where I work with women, all my clients. We have monthly calls, and we work on and the marketing on, their business growth, the strategizing about, okay, what are some of your offerings, how can you position it better, how can you change your marketing to attract the ideal audience for you, but in a way that feels good. I know that a lot of people are being drained by social media, like, oh, you always have to create new content, but how can we create marketing in a way that feels aligned and feels good to you and authentic and creates impact? So that's something that I look at with my clients as well. How can we create offers that are aligned with you that feels good? And like, I actually feel good selling this because I know that I'm helping people. How do we set pricing that is, ethical, that is right also for you, but you're not like slaving away and selling yourself short, but also asking for, the price that you should ask for, and respecting the value that you're putting out there. And how can we create systems and processes in your business so that you are running the business and the business is not running you? And so I do that as a group coaching program. I did start as a one-on-one service, but just as I'm advising my clients, I take on the same advice that I give them. And the better way to scale my business was to offer group coaching if I wanted that harmony in my life. So by doing it in a group, I get to meet with these women together and not necessarily everybody separately, so that my whole week is filled. And so I do take on one-on-one clients here and there when I have the capacity and when I want it and where it's possible. But my main offer is a group coaching program. And then I have a membership. So my membership is called Inner Circle. And a membership is ideal for women who are in the beginning of their journey. So they are 9 to thrivers, but they are not quite ready for long-term commitment in their lifestyle doesn't allow it, or finances doesn't allow it, or they don't need that high touch kind of coaching. They're okay with once a month. They just want community accountability and support, and know that, hey, there's a coach out there that if they want to ask questions, they can reach out to someone. So I have that container as well, and that comes with monthly calls, pre-recorded content, and access to me when they have questions, but it's less high touch. Whereas my group coaching program is a high ticket program because they have access to me. Literally, I'm in their pocket for 6 months, or in their heads for 6 months. So that means they have daily WhatsApp messages that they can send me. We have a Slack group. They can send me things for me to review, give them feedback on. And we have bi-weekly coaching as well. So that is kind of my offering for now. And then the retreat, which I do once a year. For people who are, not in any of those programs, I do offer 90-minute sessions. So those are like sporadic, and this is for people who are not clients yet, or if people have worked with me, they're able to book those 90-minute sessions after the first 6 months of working together. Maybe they took a break and they kind of need someone to work. They just pick their brain or something. So I do offer 6 months, 90-minute session that comes with a 2 weeks support. So we have an hour and a half strategy session around maybe something particular in your business, whether it's like, I want to change my marketing strategy, or I want to review my pricing, or I want to align my offering better. So it's one thing, obviously, it's just one call. And that comes with a 2 week follow up support. So that could be via email or voice coaching. and you have the opportunity to get the membership at a cheaper rate as an addition. So that means you have that hour and a half session with me. But after that, if you're not ready or you don't need a 6 month support, you could, have the membership tag on at a much cheaper rate because you've already have that one-on-one session with me. So that is my product suite, as they call it.
So we're looking at the website right now, which is rosemarydede.com. If you are looking for a holistic business coach, as she has said that she sets herself apart from others, I see on your page here doing a quiz to find out about your entrepreneur superpower. What's an
Yeah.
entrepreneur superpower?
So I believe that we all have a superpower. We all have something that really is our unique strength and that we can leverage to make our business grow. And many of us don't necessarily lean on that superpower. We tend to want to do business the same way that we were either taught by a coach or that we saw online or someone else. And so this quiz is a quiz I created to help my audience and anybody out there who's wondering, what is that special thing that I just bring and how can I do business differently? How can I run my business differently? It's kind of find out. So it's a free quiz. And once you click on I want to know your superpower, you can take the test and you have your results. And then it's not just about getting, oh, you're a whatever, but it's you get specific guidance. So I will be sending you a series of emails after that that is specifically tailored to the type that you are. So if you are a hustler, I'm just making something up, right? So depending on the type you are, you're going to get specific emails that are going to help you to use your strength better, but also look out for some of the things that you might be struggling with that could be standing in your way. And yeah, so depending on which type you are, you could do that. I also have a quiz that helps you find your work life harmony style because all of us have different things going on in our lives and we may feel like we need to create some balance, but I don't believe balance is 100%. It's not possible. And so what things do you need to do to help you feel more in harmony? So that's something that a free resource that I created to help also people feel more in harmony.
Now, do you find that the women you work with, do you find that they're different based on which part of the world they're coming from?
No, actually. So I have worked with women based in Ghana. I've worked with women in the US and Europe, and I think it's really there isn't anything that comes to mind like okay that separates them from the rest. In the past, people used to say, oh, I don't you can I'm not sure you can work with women based in Ghana. You charge in forex and it's quite, it's a high ticket, but I have I have worked with women based in Ghana and they didn't have a special rate. They had the same rates. And so it is possible, I think, when everybody looks at their business and what they're currently going through, they would know whether it adds value or not. And recently I did a podcast interview with one of my clients, Vivian. She's based in Ghana, and she shared the value that she got as a coachee. Um, and her business is something that is totally different from my business, and still she got a lot of value out of it. So I think it doesn't really matter what industry you're in. Yes, it helps sometimes to align to get a coach that would understand where you're coming from or where you want to go, but I think most of the things here is more about alignment of lifestyle and values. Once you find someone that you're like, oh, I like the way that person thinks and I like the way they see the world, and I look at the world in a similar way, yeah, you could work with them if you think they can help you get the results that you need.
That's good. Very, very good. So you heard her. I know we have some gentlemen here. I'm sure there's ladies on here who are not commenting, but visit her website, rosemarydede.com, to get more information on how you can partner with her for her to be your business coach, your holistic business coach. Or if you want to join the retreat, which is coming up next month, September 21st, it is quickly approaching. So if you want to join, you have to register like within the next few days to get in on it. And it doesn't matter if you're abroad or if you're in Ghana, you have an opportunity to join. And even if you're in other African countries, because we often have a lot of people who come to Ghana from Nigeria, from Togo, Ivory Coast. If you're in one of the surrounding West African countries, this could be your next holiday coming to Ghana and using it as an
Yeah.
opportunity to participate in the retreat as well. So, so don't miss out on this opportunity for something Really fantastic. And as she said earlier, if you, since you're one of my audience members here, if you decide to register, you can get your 10% discount by using the code special 10 to get your 10% off. I'll put that on the screen in case you don't remember. Um, the site for the retreat, rosemarydede.com/retreat. And then the code special 10 to get 10% off when you're watching this live stream. So yeah, thank you everybody who's been on today. Rosemary, this has been great. I
Thank
am
you.
so proud of you for what you've done with this event. You know, I remember when you first started it, and so you've come a long way to continue and pressing through, because I know that as an entrepreneur, people don't realize entrepreneurship is glamorized in social media these days. People do these videos and it's like, you know, I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, it makes it look like it's just all fun and games and it's so easy
Yeah,
with some of the things that people are posting, but it really is a tough journey, you
it
know.
is.
So I commend you on doing this and on your accomplishments.
Thank you so much.
And everyone watching, thank you for your engagement. Wisdom, thank you once again. You've been very engaged. Ivy, she said she knows someone who can ensure for making the men's retreat also possible. I said, okay, so Wisdom, I had said I know someone who could possibly help with doing the men's. He hasn't agreed yet. I'm just mentioning. I think he could. I really think he could. He has a. Since you're a man, Wisdom, you can check out his podcast. It's called All the Feels Conversations, and he has conversations with men, um, anonymous conversations. So he knew that men have difficulty in opening up, so he's doing it as anonymous conversations. So all the conversations have been just audio, and you don't see the person, so they can feel comfortable that nobody knows who they are, unless you're their friend or your family member and they know your voice. For the most part, they don't know. You don't know who the person is. And there's only one person who said he wanted to be seen, and he's done a conversation with. But everybody else has been purely anonymous. I should probably try to find the link and share it here so that the gentleman on here can join. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's. We know that men need the support as well. However, Rosemary's passion has been in supporting women and helping women to thrive. With women have unique circumstances, unique situations that are different than men. So she has specialized in supporting women. So that's what she's doing right now. And who knows, in the future, maybe she'll partner with someone and do something with the guys as
exactly.
well. But for now, it's the ladies. So you men who are on here, gift this to the ladies in your life. So thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rosemary. I really appreciate you
Thank you for
for
having me.
taking the time to do this. Because as I said, um, entrepreneurship is not easy. So kudos to you on what you're doing, and praying for even greater success as the years go. Each year, things become more prosperous and growth abounds for you in your
Amen.
business.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure sharing with you and your audience. And I hope to meet some from them, watching here. If you do come, let me know. If you were able to find out about this retreat through Ivy, it would be really lovely to meet you.
Thank you again. Thank you again. So, everyone, the live stream is ending. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.